Salam Allah, peace to the gods and goddesses. Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. Hotep, shalom, hotep. Any way you want to say peace, peace. As long as we get peace on these streets, our people are in dire need of peace. I'm your brother in struggle, Brother Minister Alif. And today we're going to decipher in the cipher Messenger Elijah Muhammad's 2 sacred, holy places of refuge when America falls for the FOI and MGT. The messenger teaches us, in brief and summary, that America is going to burn 390 years and take 610 years to cool off. 390 plus 610 equals what? 1,000. What is the mathematics of 1,000? According to the Torah, 1,000 is Aleph. According to the Holy Quran, the first Arabic letter, 1,000 equals Aleph. Alif. The understanding. Not me, but you understanding the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of yourself. So when this thing falls apart, it's going to fall apart. You know what I mean? I just seen on the news today, former President Trump just said this Tuesday they grade handcuff him and book him and take him off to jail and charge him. But he's a 10% of rich slave makers of the poor. So what he did illegally was he told all his radical followers, we going to resist this. So this dude literally is calling for a revolution next Tuesday. I don't think it's going to be a revolution, but some of his radical followers is definitely going to be there. You know what I mean? And that's dangerous. That's dangerous for me. That's dangerous for you. That's dangerous for white folks. That's dangerous for the government. That's dangerous for everybody because you never know. Keep in mind they stormed the Capitol. You know what I mean? So this dude is with the smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? He, 10% rich slave makers of the poor. He did so much technology, it's getting ridiculous. You know what I mean? But one of the things I want to cover today, the messenger in his 1972 Theology of Time, being the messenger that he is with such a beautiful heart, he opened up the floor for open-ended questions, from anybody on any subject on his teachings. And when they started asking questions, one of the things that came up was one of the brothers raised the question that the messenger had mentioned in the Muhammad speech that there were 2 places of refuge for the so-called American Negroes during the War Armageddon. He wanted to know, what is those 2 places of refuge? And the messenger in the 1972 Theology of Time questions and answer session, he didn't, he couldn't remember that. It's like me. I'm a minister. Like I wrote books. That's like somebody saying, Brother Ali, you said in one of your books, this. I don't remember. That was 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, homie. Come on, you getting spooky now. So what I want to do is answer that question because the messenger did answer in the Theology of Time. So I want to answer it and share with y'all, where are the 2, actually multiple places of refuge when the destruction comes upon the world as we know it today? Where do you supposed to run to? If America is burning 390 years, where would you be at? Like, you can't be in New York or Chicago or Philly. Where you go at? You can't go to California. You can't go to Cuba. 390 years of burning. Everything in the Western, it's like cause and effect. It's a wrap, family. But the messenger and Master Muhammad, they mapped all that stuff out. And it's in the prophecies, if you will. So let me open up with a reminder to the brother that asked the messenger that journalized question. Here's a man that taught 44 years, and you want him to remember something he said on the mother plane in Muhammad Speaks. Now, those of you that may have access to Muhammad Speaks, if you don't, you could go on, what is it called? Issue.org, I believe it is. Go on issue.org and you can see all the Muhammad. In fact, there's a great minister out there, brother, Minister Levi Kareem out Detroit, Michigan. He has a lot of the Muhammad Speaks right there on his websites at muhammadspeaks.com, I believe it's .org. No, it's .com. I mean, and when you look at the Muhammad Speaks, you'll see that the messenger taught on the mother plane in several Muhammad Speaks newspapers. Now, I mean, so at the time that the brother asked the messenger a question, he's in his 70s. So he basically asking the bro, like, what did he say? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? You know, and it seemed like he didn't have an answer. So our critics use that to say, oh, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad supposed to be the messenger of Allah. He's the first, last, and only. But he couldn't answer. He could answer the question. It's just that the question was not clear. And that's written in the prophecies by the 24 scientists. They knew that such questions would be asked. So the Holy Quran teaches us in chapter 5, verse 101. Let me read that for y'all very briefly, if you don't mind. Let me turn to this Holy Quran. I got the tab right here. Chapter 5, verse 101. The Holy Quran teaches us in the meaning, and Surah 5, the inviolability of the Kaaba, ayat 101. It reads in the meaning, O you who believe, ask not questions, ask not about things which if made known to you will give you trouble. And if you asked about them when the Quran is being revealed, they will be made known to you. Allah pardons this, and Allah is forgiving, forbearing. A people before you indeed asked such questions, then became disbelievers therein. Allah has not ordained a Bahira or a Sa'aba or a Wasala or a Hami, but those who disbelieve fabricate a lie against Allah, and most of them understand not. Now, what is this Bahira, Sa'aba, and Wasala, or a Hami? In plain language, it's a camel, a beast, a goat, and a stallion, or a horse, if you will. Know what I mean? Symbolic. That's a totally different subject that we get into a different day. But the messenger teaches us, well, the Holy Quran teaches us, oh, you believe, ask not about things which have made known to you. So here you have a brother asking the messenger, freestyle, all willy-nilly, in a public audience in front of thousands. Oh, dear Holy Apostle, you mentioned in the Muhammad Speaks that there was 2 places of refuge, and I wanted to know, what was those 2 Now, common sense says, yo, my man, go read the Muhammad Speaks. I mean, like how you expect the messenger in his 70s to remember everything? See, ministers, you got some ministers that literally write out word for word what they're going to say. But me, I don't write. It's like a rapper. It's like Jay-Z. I mean, most ministers don't write out their scripts. Now, they might write a note or something like that, a reminder or whatever, a keyword, a key phrase, something. But they basically going freestyle. So the messenger, he normally teaches freestyle. He don't teach word for word. Know what I mean? You know, so it's not fair or just to the messenger nor the believers to ask such inappropriate questions. That's like, I mean, you know, it's like somebody coming to the president of the United States and say, you passed legislation in Bill 8614 that said, like, how am I supposed to know what legislation? You're not going to quote the source of your information. If you're going to ask me a question, at least give me a reference what you taught. I don't know. I don't remember all that stuff. I've been teaching 44 years. The messenger has been teaching on UFOs, the mother plane, for 44 years. You know how many times he taught on the mother plane? And you would expect him to just remember, oh, it was in this Muhammad Speaks. And back then, Muhammad Speaks is coming out every week. It's 52 weeks in a year. You know what I mean? He like, come on, man. That's not even mathematics. So the Holy Quran teaches that I mean, so what we're going to do is show you that the messenger did teach us the two places of refuge. And I'm going to share with you word for word what those two places of refuge are. When I say two places, I say places in a, nomenclature type of sense, like, according to the scientific terminology, because one of them is multiple places, but it's one place. It's basically islands. Know what I mean? It's not one specific island, but it's just this group of islands. Know what I mean? Basically, the Bible tells you the answer. The Bible teaches you, as far as the east is to the west, basically. We're in the wilderness of North America. What's to the east of us? What's to the far east? The islands, New Zealand. So the messenger says this. I'm gonna read him quote word for word from 1972. The messenger says they've been trying to practice. He's talking about the Turks, the white Muslims. He says, in fact, let me back up. He said they're always asking me some kind of question, wanting to know, can't some of us get by? I told him that I'll give him a description of Egypt. When Moses went out of Egypt, some of the Egyptians went out with him. I said, this doesn't mean that every white person is going to be killed on that day. No, we're not teaching racism. I mean, there's some white folks, I mean, as the message said in Al Sayers Arrive, his last book, they are white Muslims of faith, not by nature. They still Muslims by faith. And they will be blessed to see the hereafter, and they will be blessed to go to heaven amongst their own people. According to a law of God who came to person as from Muhammad, his messenger, the most humble Elijah Muhammad, he said, quote, good done by any person has his reward. God is not a respecter of person. You can have a white man that's a devil by nature, like John Brown, who not only fought for the slaves, he killed for the slaves, and he physically died for the slaves. Then you have house slaves that snitched on the slaves, snitched on Nat Turner, snitched on Denmark Vesey, and sold their own people out. So God is not a respecter of person. Now, I mean, the black devil is 7 times worse. So the messenger says, and I quote in Theology of Time, page 320, 1972, they're always asking me some kind of question, wanting to know, can't some of us get by? I told them that I'll give them a description of Egypt. When Moses went out of Egypt, some of the Egyptians went out with him. I said, this doesn't mean that every white person is going to be killed on that day. No. Many will survive that day, but they will go back to their own, like the Turkish people. See, Turkey is a nation of white Muslims. They got the Star and Crescent just like we got over there, except theirs is on the opposite side, representing the old Islam on the, what we call in the Arabia, our Arik Islam or the old Islam. We represent that crescent. That's the new Islam or the new moon. It's called Al-Jadi Islam in the Arabia. That's the new Islam, Messenger Elijah Muhammad's raw teachings. They're not going to be killed because Allah told me that they would not. Master Muhammad personally told the messenger that the good white folks, the good white Muslims, they will not be killed when a mother plane come destroy the wicked. Now, the hypocritical FOIs and MGTs, out of here. Hasta la vista. I mean, but those sincere white people that are sincere by faith, though not by nature, they're going to be blessed. The message teaches us good by any person has a reward. Allah is a just God. It goes on to say, they've been trying to practice Islam, though they are white people. They try to practice Islam and are Muslims. They are Muslims by their practice, but by nature, he's like you and all the rest of you. By practicing the face of Islam, God gives him an extension of time. He would do you the same if you would be able to practice it. The devil said, quote, I don't mind the thought of it. I said, well, that don't get it yet. He said, I don't find no fault, but I don't practice it. The good book says that if you believe and carry it into practice, see, not just believing it, but you gotta, I'm talking about white Muslims of faith. Y'all have to humble yourself. Y'all know white supremacy have ruled the world. Y'all know that y'all colonized Africa, colonized North America, colonized Central America, colonized South America, colonized Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, Africa, India, China, Australia, every square inch of this planet. Some European nation came in and raped, robbed, and murdered everything. Let's keep it real. That's the reality of this thing. You know what I mean? You know, in 2023, Britain still controlled Jamaica and other places all over the planet Earth. You know what I mean? We're on the black, brown, yellow, and red nation is simply saying, let us be able to live with dignity. Let's lift our head up in the sun with peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. Let's not ask for much. Come on. You know what I mean? So the messenger goes on to say, they've been trying to practice Islam, though they are white people. They try to practice Islam and are Muslims. They are Muslims by their practice, but by nature, he's like you and all the rest of you, meaning devils by nature. By practicing the faith of Islam, God gives him an extension of time. He would do you the same if you would be able to practice it. The devil said, quote, I don't mind the thought of it. I said, well, that don't get it yet. He said, I don't find no fault, but I don't practice it. The good book says that if you believe and carry it into practice, a belief that is not practiced goes for nothing. Think about that. A belief that is not practiced goes for nothing. Our restricted law of Islam teaches us mere belief accounts for nothing unless carried into practice, ordered by our Savior and Master, M.D. Farad Muhammad. That's our lessons. So the message goes on to say, a belief that is not practiced goes for nothing. We get along very well as long as you know that a snake will sting you. Therefore, don't go up playing with it. I tell you these things, so don't take them for jokes and play. Just remember at all time, he's a snake. That's a good one. So let us continue. On October 22nd, 1972, Messenger Elijah Muhammad says, quote, if Muhammad, we're living in the day of judgment and we all will have to go to our home, what does our home look like? It looks like this, the earth, which you and I are on. This is your home. You're not going to be taken up in the sky, no place. Think about that. You're not going to be taken up in this. I know. A lot of y'all think y'all going to be picked up by the mother plane, by the Anunnaki, by Inky, and all the spooky stuff. You know what I mean? Listen, family. It's going to be black men and black women. They're going to be standing in the corner of the hood. They're going to be in the projects. They're going to be in the crack addicts, the hood, the dens, the speakeasies. They're going to be there to save our people. There's going to be no mystery gods whatsoever. Now, these angels that's going to come save you are going to have a hard time. The angels are men and women that dedicate their life to freedom, justice, and equality. That means that they could be spat upon, punched, kicked, stabbed, shot, locked up. They're going to suffer, but they love you so much. They willing to give their all. They willing to, their thing is their life and their death and their sacrifices. It's all for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not no spooking spirit. I'm talking about our people. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, we'll do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That ain't nothing. Go to the whole, that ain't nothing. Now, I mean, we'll spill blood for Muhammad. We'll spill our blood for Muhammad. That ain't nothing, family. We love you more than we realize, more than you realize, more than you love yourself. You know what I mean? But eventually, ultimately, you're going to wake up. And that's our ultimate goal. See, we'll take all the bows and arrows. Now, I mean, the message teaches us in the history of Yahshua, Isa, Jesus. Now, I mean, they slander him. That's all in it. Now, I mean, it's like you take all that. Now, I mean, because you know that our children's children is going to live on a planet that is civilized with peace, truth, freedom, justice, and equality. They're going to have love, peace, and happiness, freedom, justice, and equality. They're going to have food, clothing, and shelter, love, peace, and happiness. They're going to have heaven right here on the face of this planet that we call Earth. They will need no medicines or none of that. Now, I mean, they're going to have such a vegan and natural world that they live in that they're going to be the gods and goddesses right here on the face of the planet Earth. I know this sounds crazy to you in 2023. Let me reread the messenger words. Quote, 1972. If Muhammad were living in the day of judgment and we all will have to go to our home, what does our home look like? It looks like this: the earth, which you and I are on. This is your home. You're not going to be taken up in the sky, no place, unless it's in a plane to take you out of trouble to another spot where the trouble is not going on. He's talking about a regular plane, not the mother plane, not a UFO, but just getting on our own craft, you know what I mean, our own flying vehicles. But you are not going to be taken care of like you read there in the Bible, wherein it says, quote, that the angels will come from heaven. You've been looking for spirits to come out of the sky, but no, not like that. The angels will come from heaven, all right, but they're men and not spooks like you think. They are men, and they will come in planes to take you up out of the troubled area and fly you to another peaceful area out in the far Pacific. First place, you're going to the far Pacific Islands. First place. The Bible prophesies that you were taken to the islands far away. They do have places out there where you can take care of us permanently forever. Now, we have an option. If things get chaotic, if the devil, the math ain't right, we cool. Out there near the Philippines and all that, I mean, it's a lot of poor Muslims out there. But out there in the islands of the Pacific, the so-called American Negroes, we can live out there forever. See, Master Muhammad, it's like the so-called lost city of Atlantis. We could build the whole civilization out there, and we won't get hit with tsunamis, heat waves, none of that kind of stuff, because we control the forces of nature. What makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? Answer. The Holy Quran, the Bible, is made by the original people who is the law. So the scriptures are prophecies that's written about that stuff is written by our ancestors. So when we look at our lessons, our blessings, we say, what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes? The answer is short version, all of it's caused by the Son of Man or the Son of Woman, by black people right here on the face of the planet Earth, cause and effect. Actions and reactions. It's all mathematics. But right now, you don't understand the science of it. You don't understand. See, people get confused. There's a lot of spooky stuff. They be like, oh, our human bodies produce electrical force. It's not an electrical force. Our bodies produce the power. But people don't understand the difference between power, electric, energy, forces. Now, I mean, they spook it all up. But it's nothing spooky. It's all that. Just like if I ate a carrot, and my body was to process the carotene in that carrot that came out of the atoms of this earth, it would process that and make me have better vision. You see, it's a science, family. It's nothing spooky. All right. So the messenger goes on and explain the angels will come from heaven. All right. But they're men. And not, when I say men, I don't just mean male chauvinists. When I say men, I mean we ain't negating the goddesses, the mighty MGT, the most goddess training. We're talking fruit and MGT. It's going to be some MGTs on front line, and it's going to be some brothers running, scared to death, hiding. Oh, they shooting. I made you look. It's going to be sisters that's going to be on the front line, and there's going to be some brother. I seen it already. See how I mean? See, brothers. See, I'm telling you. I've been doing this thing 40 years, family. Now, I mean, I don't toot my own horn and none of that crap, but I want you to understand that fruit is best, but MGTs are best too. Now, I mean, so We're dealing with equality here. We're dealing with ma'at or balance. We're dealing with freedom, justice, and equality. Now, I mean, that we're dealing with that equality too. So it's a science here. So we're gonna need strong women and strong brothers, strong men and women. Now, I mean, strong boys and strong girls. Now, I mean, strong elders. Now, I mean, we have to be like the messenger. The messenger said he was willing to give all that he had and all in his power to see this day for which you've waited 379 years. So let us go back. The angels will come from heaven, all right, but they're men and not spooks like you think. They are men, and they will come in planes to take you up out of the troubled area and fly you to another peaceful area out in the far Pacific. The Bible prophesies that you were taken to the islands far away. They do have places out there where they can take care of us permanently forever. You may, not necessarily, but it's always a probability. You may live on some of these islands. There is New Zealand. There you go. We got the islands of the far Pacific, the first place, and then New Zealand, the second. Now, New Zealand's technically like a dual island, I mean, but New Zealand. Now, I mean, parts of New Zealand, the British never even got into because the Aboriginal man, the original man, the Asiatic black man to make it on the cream of the planet Earth, didn't want them to know all that secrets. But when they see us, the mighty FY and MGTs, they're going to reveal all things to us, and we're going to be doing some stuff that's like the magnetism, the mathematics. It's like you're going to know the black man is God, all right? There's New Zealand. They have already cried out that they can take all of us, but I don't think you'll go to New Zealand right away. You might spread out in that area later on, but I don't think you're going now. I don't think you're going nowhere but here. If the scripture is true, and it is, that the Lord said that it is his own good will to give thee the kingdom, well, if it's his own good will to give us the kingdom and backs it up by other prophecies by saying, quote, he taketh the kingdom from whom he pleases and gives it to whom he pleases. This is a broad hint that he will take this country, talking about the United States of America. I already know it's going to become the United States of law. The United States of America is going to become the United States of law. We ain't going to get too ahead of ourselves. But the message goes on to say, this is a broad hint that he will take this country and give it to another people. If he doesn't do that, he's well able to destroy it and give it to no one. He showed me how he could take the country without striking a match. I think so many FOI and MGTs missed that. This is why you got so many people looking up. I see the mother plane. Is that the UFO? Is that the mother? They looking for a power outside of themselves to save themselves. Not going to happen. All right, I'm gonna give y'all some mathematics, some stuff that you can easily prove. This 2023, all right? I'm gonna put this in plain language. I don't mean to offend nobody. This is only March 2023. The mother plane is not going to come by December 2023. It's not going to come by December 2024. This video should be up, and you'll see the mother plane didn't come by December 25. I hope by December 25 you realize it's nothing spooky, family. You must become a self-savior. What are you talking about, Ali? Quote from Messenger Elijah Muhammad. You must become a self-savior today. There is no mystery God coming to save. You must save yourself. You must do for yourself. You must answer your own prayers. I know. Y'all thinking this is like some radical crazy stuff. This is the original divine direct teachings of the Messenger Elijah Muhammad. See, people who's looking at it like, it's the messenger program and we got a nation built. You're talking about a program without you having a family program, without you having a business. You're talking about nation building and you don't have a city state. You haven't even built a town of Elijahville. You don't even own your house. You're renting and mortgaging your house. You don't even own a house. You don't own your business. You don't own an LLC, a 501c3. You're getting spooky, family. The black man is God, period. Do for self. All right? So, the messenger goes on. Let me reread this part. He taketh the kingdom from whom he pleases and gives it to whom he pleases. This is a broad hint that he will take this country and give it to another people. If he doesn't do that, he's well able to destroy it and give it to no one. Talking about Masfar Muhammad, showed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He showed me how he could take the country without striking a match. See, a lot of people think hook, line, and say, oh, the mother ain't going to physically burn America for 390 years. The message said, and I'll say it's right. I'm going to give y'all a jewel. The message says, some people think that these teachers on the mother plane is literal, and other people think it's symbolic. Now, what is the messenger teaches on it? He said, I say it's both. It's literal and it's symbolic. There is an actual mother plane and there's an actual other plan. Think that over. There's an actual mother plane and there's an actual other plan. The angels of the law is real, baby. Think this over. He will take this country and give it to another people. If he doesn't do that, he's well able to destroy it and give it to no one. He showed me how he could take the country without striking a match. He can take it without even lighting a match. He doesn't have to have no fire. See, Master Muhammad, this is what the angel said. I'm going to give you what the messenger said about the angel. The messenger told us this. He said, the angel of Allah said, America, United Snakes of America, is not worth one bomb from our mother plane. Not that the mother plane is not real. The angel position was, just like, we don't need no bombs physically. I mean, we ain't got to drill 3 bombs. Nah, just the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding, drilling into the mentally dead's brains, teaching them that the black man is God, that the black woman is goddess, saying salam Allah, peace God, peace goddess, waking them up. They be like, assalamu alaikum. Yeah, assalamu alaikum means what? Peace be unto you. The messenger teaches us what in the divine saying? He said, peace is a universal greeting which only the righteous abide by only. The messenger said, quote, I don't seek peace. I am peace. I don't seek peace. I am peace. Wake up, black man. You're so into organized religion. And this is why brothers just want to just do everything like it's organized religion. I mean, and this is why in 2023, the devil time was up in 1985. And you can have 10,000 fearless FOI, hustlers, whatever. The devil's still ruling the universe, still running the planet Earth, still running the nation of Islam in 2023. And it's going to be absolutely chaotic when the divine reminder is not here, the Honorable Salas Muhammad is not here. You see the mentality of our people. You know and I know. They're going to get ghosts. They're going to get spooked out their minds. It's like the nation will not fall. The nation of Islam will never fall again. But you can rest assured that those 5%ers that are really 85%ers, hasta la vista, baby. They be Sunnis, they be putting kufis on, dyeing their beard red. They going to be praying to the east to a mystery Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala somewhere beyond. They going to be in church. They going to be in the street hustling. They going back to work. They going back to school. It's going to be chaos. I mean, and it's going to make those in authority more aggressive because the meal ticket is gone. Master Muhammad intentionally designed it like this. You're going to see brothers like fighting brothers, killing brothers, sisters fight. It's going to be chaos. Now, and the devil love it because he knows that Dr. Yaqub Malik Shabaz's law of divide and conquer is going to put him in a condition and position to keep our people asleep. The messenger said in 1965, the message to the black man, as long as we remain asleep to the knowledge or the reality of God, the devil could rule for the next 1,000,000 years. Did you hear me? Not 6,000 years. The devil could rule for the next 1,000,000 years if we do not wake up to the plain, clear, simple fact that the black man is God. That's why I go so hard on Salam Allah, the black man is God. Now, I mean, who is the original man? The original man is that black man that make it on the cream of land, earth, God of the universe. Now, I mean, because I understand out of 8 billion people, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, 2 billion of y'all are going to physically die on this physical planet. 2 billion of y'all are going to physically die. Not white folks. White, black, brown, yellow, red, straight, gay, young, old, rich, old. It don't make a difference. 2 billion people on this planet covering 196,940,000 square miles, 57,255,000 square miles of land, 139,685,000 square miles of water, and the universe covering 238 quintillion 640 quadrillion miles are going to physically die. And when they physically die, 85% of them think they're going to come. None of them going to come back. None of them ever came back. But that's the spookism that our people is working with. Know what I mean? And, you know, the messenger told us in 1973 in his book, The Fall of America, he said when the angels come, they're not coming to teach you. They're not going to be arguing and trying to convince. Nah, they ain't got the time. The messenger said, he said, we're talking fast progress. You're going to have to get to learning somewhere else. The Master Muhammad, Malcolm X, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Dr. Khalid, Sister Tanetta Muhammad, Sister Ava, you name it. Master, you got the teachings. I mean, it's like, what can my little behind do? I can't measure up to. They gave you the raw truth. The messenger's message is clear. I always tell you, the messenger's message is going to guide you through this age of mess. Now, if you don't want to study the messenger's message, if you don't want to practice the messenger teachings, hey, there is no forced faith. There is no compulsion in Islam. I mean, I'm like, yo, my man, my woman, do your thing. I mean, you. But one thing you're gonna be like, damn, I'll leave chilling. I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm not. You know, it's just that out of my love for you, out of the Rahman ar-Rahim. Know what I mean? Out of the beneficent and mercy, the beneficence, the love, the elevation of understanding. We take all the slings and arrows, all of the slander, the gossip, the naysayers, the tricknology, the sabotage, the Yaku's law of divide and conquer. We do all that because we know 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, a billion, a trillion years from now, ain't nobody going to know the name Alif. Ain't nobody going to remember the name Farrakhan or Salas or none of that. There will be no English words in existence. What's going to be in existence is that power, that force of God, that reality, that Surah 22, Ayat 6, Allahu Ana al-Haq. Let me pull that up for y'all. A lot of y'all think that I just be making this stuff. So let me share this with y'all real quick. Let me find this. Hold on 1 second, inshallah, Sakim. See that? I'm not going to read the English. I'm going to read the Arabic for y'all and the English, okay? I'm going to read the Quranic Arabic for y'all. It says in Surah 22, Ayat 6, Allah huwa Allah haku. Allah huwa Allah haku. It's a Duma on there in Arabic. It's a you know what I mean? That's an innovation actually. You know what I mean? You know, they put the vowels in there. But you know, I'm trying to be politically correct here. You know what I mean? Allah huwa Allah haku. That is because Allah, He is the truth. The God is nothing but the haku. What do haku means? It means truth. It means surety. It means reality. It means mathematics. It means pure Islam. It means the nature. It means reality, family. Allahu and Haq. The God is nothing but the reality. I'm going to keep it real. Are you willing to keep it real? The struggle continues, family. But remember, only the messenger's message can guide you through this age of mess. Peace. The struggle continues.